so excited to talk about these. This is what a raw invisible speaker looks like. And this is what it looks like covered in slate. If there was a single product that could distill down every single aspect of our mission, it would be the invisible speaker. Not only is it luxurious, surprising, performant, cost-effective, solves so many logistical issues from an installation standpoint. No product is perfect, but dang, these are close. Before I get too ahead of myself, let's break down exactly what these speakers are and how they work. Speakers are pretty simple. It uses a magnet and electricity to push what's called a cone, forward and backward. If you think of what a speaker looks like, you're probably thinking of the cone. A typical speaker is maybe about 6 inches. In order to fill the entire room with sound, it has to move forward and backward quite a bit. With the case of an invisible speaker, the magnet is behind the surface here. We're effectively taking the material of the wall and making that the cone of the speaker. The large surface area of an invisible speaker is what allows us to cover it with almost any material, as long as it's thinner than about 4 millimeters and flexible. Even when these things are really going, you'd have to look at it with a magnifying glass to see that it's moving. Look at these 3 rooms. This perfectly exemplifies exactly why I love these speakers. You can look at these rooms all day and you would never know where the speakers are. This room has invisible speakers all over. Behind the mural, wood veneer, faux wood paneling, and drywall. And there's not just aesthetic benefits, there's performance too. This space is exactly what the invisible speaker was made for. Another reason why I like these speakers so much is their dispersion. A typical speaker will throw its sound in a cone of maybe 90 to up to about 120 degrees. The reason why that's a problem is because when you have speakers installed in the ceiling or in the wall and you're using them as background music, when you're walking around your home, you get these hard transitions between when you're standing underneath or in front of a speaker and when you're not, and it makes the sound in the room very unnatural. Invisible speakers, on the other hand, send their sound out in 180 degrees, both to the left and the right and the top and bottom. What that means is no matter where you are in the space, you're not gonna get any of those hard transitions from one speaker to another. And it creates this magical environment where you really can't tell where the sound is coming from. And it's just like you have a bed of background music in your space, and it's wonderful. Another reason why I like invisible speakers is because of the flexibility they provide for installation. If I was doing traditional speakers here in my kitchen, I would want them to be in line with my downlights. However, I know that there's HVAC there, and I can't move the HVAC line. So now I'm having to make compromises on my aesthetics. With invisible series speakers, because they have such wide dispersion, I can move them a couple stud bays over from where I would have put a traditional speaker, and it sounds exactly the same. Because we're spreading that sound out over a much wider area, I don't have those listening cones anymore, and I can put the speakers wherever I want, and I don't have to worry about the aesthetics because I'm never gonna see them. Now, I don't want to go too far into the weeds, but just a quick overview. These were designed in the good old US of A, so they work perfect in a 16-inch stud bay, but we can adapt them to a 12-inch stud bay if we need to as well. They work just fine with wood studs and metal studs. They come with back box options to make sure you're not getting bleed into other rooms. There's a few different sizes and configurations depending on exactly what you need. There's a 6-inch model, an 8-inch model, and a 10-inch model. There's also 2 subwoofer models, a 12-inch and a 15. They install just like a sheet of drywall. You can see here I have them on a 16-inch stud bay. There's a couple screws on the sides. You'd butt it up to the rest of the drywall and mud and tape it up. It takes standard speaker wire and a standard amplifier just like any other speaker does. These speakers also have some pretty cool technology to make sure that they're gonna work for you for years down the line. Each speaker has an internal fuse that'll automatically trip if too much power is sent to the speaker. The fuse automatically resets after a couple minutes, and then you're back to playing your music. Should anything go wrong, the speakers have the best warranty in the industry. 15 years that not only covers the speaker, but also covers the cost of reinstalling them into level 5 drywall finish. And while most of the time we're doing these in standard drywall, if you're looking to do something a little bit more exotic or unique, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to consult you to make sure you're getting the best performance and the smoothest installation possible. And if y'all need consultation with anything else, audio, video in the design industry, we'd be happy to help here at Light, Sound, and Shade. Thank you.